Hello and welcome to BBC News School Report. Today I'm here with two of Christleton High School members of staff. First we have Miss Cowley, an librarian in the iResearch, and Miss Croft, an English teacher. Some of my team, which are Katie, Lucy, Hannah and Maddie, are going to be interviewing them about World Book Day. So without further ado, let's get started and do the interview.
So, Mrs. Cowley, what are your personal opinions on this year's World Book Day?
I was really pleasantly surprised this year's World Book Day because I always wonder every year whether it's going to be as popular as it was last year. This year we did a big quiz in the iResearch and we had 20 teams in, which is the most teams that we've had so far. And it's quite appropriate to have 20 teams. It's actually the 20th anniversary of World Book Day this year. So it was really nice to have that popular support and, crush that kind of negative stereotype that teenagers these days aren't as interested in reading, because we had a lot of students turn out for it.
Okay. And Mrs. Croft, what's your favourite book and why?
Well, I've got quite a lot of favourite books, but I'd say the sort of classic that is my favourite is The Great Gatsby. I think it's a great story and it's one that I always recommend to people to read. So I even recommended it to one of my year 9s last year who loved it. But sort of more books that I like to read now have changed quite a lot from the sort of books that I used to read when I was younger. So now I really like to read a lot of books that are sort of crime, thriller fiction. So sort of a new author who I really enjoy reading books by is Gillian Flynn, who's written Gone Girl, Sharp Objects and Dark Places. So they're some of my favourite ones that I've read recently.
Miss Cowley, why do you think it's important for teenagers to read?
I think there's two main things I always think of about the importance of teenagers reading. I think one is it's something that builds up your imagination. It's not like watching a film where everything's on screen for you. You have to create the picture in your head. So I think reading a lot of books, you're creating your own world, your own characters when you read those. So it really builds up your visual imagination, but also it's building up your vocabulary. And there's so many words you won't even realise you're absorbing all these words, but it'll mean you can be more eloquent, very well spoken, just from reading a lot of books.
Miss Croft, do you think World Book Day actually encourages teenagers to read?
I'd like to think so. And I mean, from experience of sort of helping out with World Book Day events here, I definitely think that it has encouraged the sort of more reluctant readers to get involved with reading. Some other projects that we've done are things like Readathon as well, which actually I do think has helped the more reluctant people to maybe try and find something that they like reading, and to also understand that reading doesn't always just mean reading a really big fictional book. There's lots of different styles of books, non-fiction and fiction, and there's lots of short stories that can be read as well. So I do think that it does, yeah.
Miss Cowley, what have you done on previous World Book Days?
Well, when I've been in I've been a librarian now for 6 World Book Days, and I always try and do something a little bit different if I can. The theme we had in previous years, last year we did a Harry Potter special, and we all dressed up as characters, usually mainly teachers and students from Hogwarts, and we did a Harry Potter themed quiz. At other schools I've done one that was a Mad Hatter's Tea Party. I actually dressed as the Mad Hatter this year, but previously we've done a Mad Hatter Tea Party where I've dressed up as Alice. I've also done a superhero themed World Book Day, because I don't think people often forget that comic books are classed as books as well. So we had one World Book Day where we all dressed up as different comic book characters. So I try to do everything in like a slightly different spin every time we do the World Book Day.
Miss Croft, what is your favourite genre of book?
I think I already answered that before, didn't I? But my favourite genre is crime and thriller fiction, and that's something that I've sort of learned to love as I've got a little bit older.
Miss Cowley, how much reading do you do roughly each year?
I'm on this website called Goodreads, and Goodreads allows you at the start of every year to set a target for how many books you're going to read in the year, and I usually always try and set 50 books to read in the year, which is quite ambitious. I've not ever actually made the target of 50 books, but I have been close several times. I've definitely got over 40 in a year that I've read. So yeah, I think sometimes setting something like 50 books is a big target, but if you think I'm going to have a go at doing that, you'll probably read more than you would do if you haven't set yourself any target. So I try and use that site. So I say hopefully close to 50.
Okay. Miss Croft, what is your favourite costume for World Book Day?
Last year I dressed up as Bellatrix Lestrange from Harry Potter. I think that was probably my favourite one because she's a character that I really like as well, so that was nice. This year I was Little Red Riding Hood this year, so that was good, but I think Bellatrix Lestrange was probably my favourite.
And one final question for Miss Croft. How does reading benefit everyone?
Well, that's a really important question really, and it's one that we as teachers always get asked by your parents as well, and it's something we really try and enforce as English teachers, because the pupils that we use are always the pupils that produce the best work in English, because reading really does give you an opportunity to develop your vocabulary, develops your imagination, as Miss Cowley said before. So the pupils that read are always the best ones, the best creative story ideas. And it's a really nice opportunity as well for you to sort of chill out and escape from maybe the pressures of school when you go home as well, if you've got a good book to read.
Thank you for doing this interview with us for BBC School News Report. Until next time, goodbye.
Hi.
And welcome to today's show with our special guests, Lucy, Maddie, Molly and Katie. Today we'll be discussing whether or not we should have mobile phones in lessons. I'm going to interview them on this matter and how they feel. So let's begin. Over to the side that says mobile phones shouldn't be allowed.
So personally, I think that we shouldn't have mobile phones in class because it can be a distraction to the class if a phone rings or buzzes.
I personally also think that mobile phones should not be allowed in lessons, as I feel like they stop education, as instead of learning, lots of people look at videos, games, social media, etc., which prevents them learning.
So we both think that having mobile phones in class is a distraction, and it's unfair on the teachers that have to work harder than they should to get the students to pay attention.
And that it is also unfair on the students that are trying really hard to learn.
Now, over to the side who think mobile phones should be allowed.
I think we should have mobile phones in school because we can search for information more easily, which will help our learning in class.
I agree with Lucy. It is important to engage students in a lesson, and applications like Kahoot, which you find on phones, definitely do that. Also, we can inform rules for the use of mobile phones in class, which would benefit the pupils who are being disruptive by teaching them actions will be taken.
So overall, we strongly agree and mobile phones with restrictions should be allowed.
Do you think the opposite team have a valid point?
I think they do, because you have rules, and what happens if they break the rules? What are you going to do then?
Well, we shall make sure that they do not break the laws. Besides, the money that we save on using phones instead of iPads can be spent on more important things.
Okay, how do you think your point can benefit the class and the teachers?
I think that our point would basically give a better environment in learning, and that if students pay attention and not on their phones, and that if the teachers don't have to sort out issues with phones, then it will lead to getting better grades, better jobs, and getting better money when you're older.
I agree.
And also, it's with phones not being allowed, it makes people be more social in matters, instead of being on their phones all the time, which is also a good opportunity to make friends.
Well, I think it would benefit the class by it would take a lot less time having to fuss getting iPads. You would be engaging with students, and also if someone does misbehave, there will of course be actions taken, and for the best person who's messing around and the people around them. So once they understand that this rules, perhaps they can change behaviour altogether and become a better person.
Okay, so everyone has made a valid point. What do you think?
Rashid, welcome to BBC School Report at Christleton High School. Today I'm also joined by Andrew. Hello. Today something out of the ordinary has happened. A turtle in Thailand has been found with almost 1,000 coins inside its stomach. The turtle is a female green sea turtle native to the islands. The total of the metal coins is 5 kilograms, which equates to 915 English pounds.
Tourists throw coins into her pond for good luck, but it turned out to be bad luck for the turtle when she started snacking on the loose change. Her expensive dinner got so heavy that it weighed her down and even damaged her shell. The turtle had difficulty swimming because of the weight of the money. Luckily, vets noticed that something wasn't right when she couldn't swim straight, and surgeons were able to take the coins out,
Now she's happy.
if a little poorer.
Hello, our most recent news report is the 5-second rule true? A scientist has announced that it's perfectly safe to eat certain types of food that have fallen on the floor.
Germ expert Professor Anthony Hilton from Aston University said that food is unlikely to have picked up harmful bacteria from a few seconds spent on an indoor floor.
79% of us have used the 5-second rule as an excuse to eat food that has missed the plate or our mouths. Professor Anthony Hilton argues that as long as the food only makes contact with the floor for a short amount of time and is not obviously contaminated, it's unlikely to be harmful.
The 3, 5 or 10-second rule, depending on who you ask, is just one of those many popular myths surrounding food.
So remember, if you drop your food on the floor, you have 5 seconds to pick it up. Thank you for listening to our news report from Christleton High School.